On November 11th, the Purchase Disco Club teamed up with Red Bull to bring students a Thursday night to remember. Rapper Del the Funky Homosapien, widely known for his work with the multi-genre sensation The Gorillaz, and less commonly known for his underground rap group Deltron 3030, performed at a secret location on campus. Me and a few friends got the chance to sit down with Del prior to the event to discuss his music and where the game's gone. How did you team up with Red Bull?
A while ago, they had some Red Bull academies out in Berkeley, up at the Berkeley campus. And I think the first thing they wanted me to do was like a performance or something there, and then after that, did a few public speakings up there, you know, as far as music is concerned. So I think that's kind of how it started rolling, you know. But that was a long time ago. Since then, we've done a lot of stuff together. So,
I've done a lot of work with the Gorillaz before, and they recently came out with a new album and had their European tour and everything. How did you feel about their new album? What'd you think of that?
Honestly, I didn't listen to it that much, you know. So, you know, they're great musicians, you know what I'm saying? They do a lot of good music. I'll say that, but I didn't listen to it that often, you know. So I know that sounds stupid, but I wasn't really that involved in the first project in the first place. I was more like a cleanup man than anything else. You know, I just covered up somebody else's rap, you know, and just happened to become a hit. So.
And you also, your ghost possessed Russell Hobbs. And that was, I mean, that must have been kind of traumatic for you. I mean, that's a pretty serious thing. So what do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I love Quasimodo. You know what? It was more traumatic just trying to figure out something to write, you know, because they wouldn't tell me anything. They just said, okay, well, he's the ghost inside Russell's head or inside his drums. And that's it. That's all they told me. So I'm like, okay, that's it? That's all? What am I supposed to write about? Well, whatever you think up, Del, it's up to you. So I'm just like, okay. So I took a good, like, maybe 20 minutes just trying to figure it out, and then came up with what I came up with.
What is your experience with the industry as a large in terms of, you know, Del as something that sells, Del as a product? How do you feel that's changed your perspective on, you know, playing music?
Let me think. You know what? That's a good question, actually. Man, I don't really look at it like that. I look at it more as if people like your stuff, they're gonna buy it. You know, so I don't blow it up too much. I don't blow it out of proportion. You know what I mean? I feel like if I make good music and I'm talking to people directly and they can get something out of what I'm doing, then I'll make money. You know, I feel like if I'm so far away from what people are into and just can't relate to people, then sooner or later it's gonna flop, you know. So, you know, I just try to stay connected with the people, what's going on, but also add my input on what I think is going on too, you know. But I'm from that though, you know, I ain't never left it, so I just try to stay in that element and try to keep it just real, you know. That way I don't float off into the clouds somewhere and then one day somebody's waking me up like, you're not hot anymore, you know. It just happens to so many artists, you know. I'm just aware of it.
All right, now, Del, I have a hip-hop blog. One of the things I talk about is, you know, the direction in which hip-hop is going right now. You know, you've been in the game for a long time. You used to rap, you know, with Ice Cube. Used to be in the Hieroglyphics. Like, you've been around for a while. How do you feel about, like, the new generation of hip-hop? Like, everyone's feeling Drake. Everyone's feeling J. Cole. Everyone's feeling these new artists. And a lot of the hip-hop fans from back in the day, like, they're not really feeling it. I'm just kind of wondering, like, what's your take on the direction the game's going and how you feel, and where are you in, you know, the new generation of hip-hop?
That's a good question. I look at it from more of a wider view of music probably, so I'm not really just looking at it as hip-hop per se, because it's bigger than that to me. I'm looking at it now lately in terms of electronic music versus just traditional wooden whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, skins or whatever, thread. But that's the way I'm looking at it now, because from like maybe like 1909 or something, electronic music started, and then like start progressing from there, but people just didn't take it seriously, you know what I'm saying. And then there's pioneers that did stuff with it here and there, and then publicly the awareness grew and then the acceptance grew to where it is now, like you damn near can't even do nothing without having something electronic in your music, you know? Because that future that it seemed like they was talking about back then, like we're actually living in that future now, you know? So it's just a trip to me. But that's the main thing that I'm looking at and trying to just stay ahead of the curve. As far as rap is concerned, I like whoever is tight, you know? I like Drake. I don't have nothing wrong with Drake. But if you play me some underground stuff and I think that's tight, I'll think that's tight too. You know what I'm saying? Like lately we've been talking about Tanya Morgan, you know, so, you know, I dig that, you know. But it doesn't matter to me. I don't care what, you know, I don't care what they rapping about specifically or, you know, I'm not really into that. If they got skills at what they doing, that's what'll attract me because I'm a fan of that, you know. And then their personality, that's going to bring their personality across to me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not picky or choosy as far as that. It's about the sport of it, you know. But that's me, though. I'm a hip-hop lover. Now, other people, it might not be like that to them. They might not be able to perceive why I would like this rapper over this rapper. I don't even understand what dude is saying. He's just talking a bunch of nonsense. No, he's not. I mean, that's the sport. That's the fun of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting down. But, you know, I like music of all kinds, though. So hip-hop is my favorite, you know, because that's what I grew up on, but I could appreciate anything.
What are your other musical influences?
Funk, obviously, is probably the biggest influence, and I feel the biggest influence as far as American music, period, you know. So that's obviously that. Parliament, Brides of Funkenstein, Bootsy Collins. Bootsy Collins is a humongous influence. Zapp, Roger Troutman, you know. Anything that's funky, you know what I mean? But I like darker type of stuff, you know. I like harder type stuff. So that's what I tend to start gravitating towards after a while, you know. Heavy stuff, you feel me? I like rock, you know. I like classic rock, but I like heavy stuff. I don't really like too much the happy-go-lucky stuff, you know.
You said earlier that you were a fan of Quasimodo.
Yeah.
Now that's another animated character. So running theme over here. You have something to say that you might have been possibly an animated character at some point in your life, or you know, maybe even you've been involved with some type of animated characters in one way or another?
Actually, I used to draw a lot when I was younger, so that's what I wanted to do initially. I wanted to be either an animator or I wanted to draw comic strips. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and once I figured out how much work it took to be an animator, I was like, nah, man. Yeah. I mean, now even though, but with, you know, computers and stuff, it's way easier, but still. Yeah, I love hand drawing too. Like I'm pretty good actually.
I'm not really that great, but I'm alright.
Okay. I'm a cartoonist though. You feel me? So the real stuff, I don't really like the super duper real. You know.
Students had to monitor their cell phone 20 minutes prior to the event, when they would receive a text message displaying the location. Campus Center South.
I got the funk and I'm giving it to you. My nigga Lee, real funky with my crew. Get into the stew, you know, into the thick of things. Get on the